Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today I have pretty much a full face of Guerlain makeup, the Terracotta collection, with a few other pieces here and there. So let's get started. So I recently purchased all the blush from the new Terracotta collection. There's a video if you want to have a look. I'm swatching all the colors and testing them. I have been playing with them a little bit, and I have to admit it is such a good collection. All the blushes are amazing. The colors, they're vibrant, they're really long lasting, non-drying, and they're not patchy at all. So for today I'm gonna take all the Guerlain product I have from Terracotta collection plus the new primer. So let's start with the primer. This is the newest version of it. It's the Parure Gold 24K. I haven't used that one yet, so it might be a sheer disaster, but I doubt. Radiance Booster Perfection Primer, 24 hours hydration, infused with 24K gold. This is the neutral shade. They have one that has rosy little specks in it, or silver, depending if you have a warm tone or a cool tone. I think this is just the nicest one. It really works with everyone, even if you're cool or warm. It just gives you that really nice glow. So I assume this is silicone base. I haven't read about it. It's watery, so you can see, but it's not completely liquid. It feels really nice on the skin. There's a very small perfume, but nothing overwhelming. And one pump is clearly enough for all the face. It is not sticky at all. I thought it was going to be a little bit more sticky for some reason. Maybe because of the look, the texture. It almost all dried instantly. I'm just gonna press it onto my skin. It really gives that radiance, that glow. Oh, that's really nice. It really gives a feel of the skin is bouncy. So I gave it a few minutes just to dry. So it doesn't necessarily dry completely, but it's not sticky, disgusting. I think this will be a very good primer for summertime. You know, when it's a bit more hot and you need something for the foundation to really get onto it. But I like the glow. I like the radiance that it gives. It's not overwhelming. It's not like the Charlotte Tilbury Filter Glow or the new DR Star, the Forever Star filter either. Now that the primer is set, I'm coming with my foundation from Terracotta Le Teint. So this is new, but from last year. Maybe you haven't tried it yet. This is the new formula. It's made out of 95% of derived natural ingredients. It is definitely one of my favorite foundation of all time. Literally favorite of one of the top, let's say top 5 foundation. It is soft matte. It feels more, once it dries, because it dries completely, it feels more like a powder than a foundation. There's no transfer. Long wear, it's really breathable. The color is really nice. It's really buildable as well. It does have a good coverage. And yeah, like I think I'm halfway down the bottle. This is a really good purchase. I was really happy when they launched the concealer recently, because I've been enjoying very much using this foundation. I am using the shade 2.5 Neutral. It's a bit more dark in the winter if I don't use Sunless Tan, but I think it should be fine. I like to apply it with my beauty blender sponge because it really gives that flawless look. So I usually need 2 pumps, and it's not super liquid, but equally it's not, it's a matte foundation, matte luminous, so you're gonna have something that is a little bit more dense as a foundation. So on the beauty blender, and as you can see, it is a full coverage foundation, which I like it. It's not necessarily an everyday foundation either. Some of you might prefer something lighter for your everyday foundation. For me, I'm happy with a full coverage foundation because I do have a very thin skin, and we see a lot of blood vessels, little broken veins, little spot redness, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I just like to unify my skin, the skin. So 2 pumps really is just the perfect amount for all of your face. I always go down a little bit on the neck, make sure that there's not a line on the jaw. And you can see the glow and the radiance. And with the primer, it's not patchy at all, it hasn't peeled. So foundation has been applied everywhere. It's really still glowing, but it's not sticky at all. It really completely dries. And it's just giving you a really healthy looking skin. I think for summer, this is such a good foundation. It really just unifies your skin, the tone of your skin, without being like, you still can see my freckles. It's not completely gone. And I really like the shade. It's neutral, but it is a little bit more on the warmer side of the neutral, if that makes any sense. Obviously, it's not a cool shade, so it wouldn't be cool. But there's no... Sometimes when you go for something too cold, it's going to be super rosy. This one has more of a little bit of a yellow in it. It is a really, really nice foundation. So now on the concealer, it's the same formula, just has more coverage, obviously, because it is a concealer. It is Natural Perfection Concealer, 24 hours wear, no transfer. And same thing, 95% of naturally derived ingredients. And I'm using shade 2 Neutral, so I went a bit lighter, obviously, on the shade. I think I could have gone even probably a bit more light. I could have gone for 1.5, but I'm still really happy with the concealer. I have been wearing it out a little bit to test it, and it's a really good product. It really just stays in place. It doesn't crease. Obviously, I set it with some powder, but there is no creasing. So I place my concealer wherever I want to add some luminosity. And you'll see on the concealer, there's a little bit of orange undertone that really neutralizes the dark circles. And it blends just so nicely. You don't have to rub it. You see, I'm just tapping in little motions. And it blends really, really great on the skin. It's not gonna give you that patchy look. And I tend to think that when you purchase products from the same brand, they're really made to be working with each other. You really minimize the risk of having a foundation that is peeling over your primer, or, you know, concealer that gets super patchy. See, that's it. That's our concealer, and it's a buildable concealer, but you really can see it's a full coverage concealer. And I really like that it just dries completely. Once it's on your skin, it's going to stay, it's not going to move. So this concealer is just doing an amazing job. There's no creasing, it just completely dries, it blends smoothly with the foundation, and you can see there's no line anywhere. And it's still glowing. It's dry and it's still really healthy, but not dewy, like melting dewy. So this is really nice, especially that summer is coming. These two together with the primer, seriously a winning trio. So I will have her powder my under eyes just to make sure that we set everything. So I've got a little powder puff. I'm using Prisme Libre de Givenchy. It's the shade Voile Rosé, so shade number 3. So I just add a little bit. Always press it into the powder puff first. So come on the back of my hand. Just tap under your eye, make sure that there's no little creasing or anything, and then you press gently with the loose powder. You can see, obviously you can see the difference. This is such a good powder. I haven't tried the loose powder from Huda Beauty, the cherry one. Apparently it's one of the best. So I think once I finish this one, I don't have much left in there. I will try the Huda Beauty powder, the loose one, because I have the compact powder. Not necessarily a fan of the Bake and Snatch compact powder. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I don't know how to use it. So if you have any tips for me, please leave them in the comments. But I feel like it just gets patchy on my skin and it kind of moves the makeup under, which it's a bit of a shame. So yeah, I'm quite keen to try the loose powder. However, speaking of loose powder, we're gonna powder a little bit the rest. I want to keep some shine, I want to keep some glowing, but maybe not on the T-zone. So I'm using Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. This is obviously not new, but it's clearly one of the best. So I'm taking a bigger powder puff. Same thing, just put some, press it onto the back of my hand to make sure that it is evenly distributed on the powder puff. And you don't need much. It's really just to set the product in place. And there is no color to it, so whatever the shade, you see that definitely it is a good powder. So whatever the shade of your foundation, this should be working, no problem. Now we've powdered the whole face. It's still quite luminous. You can see there's still some luminosity coming through, which is really nice. because you don't want to mattify completely your face, otherwise it's taking away any depth, any bit of natural look that you could have with the foundation. So from the Terracotta collection, I have I have a few products that I want to use. So I want to use this powder. This is a bronzer. That's part of the new release as well. It is a beautiful color. So you've got some matte and you've got some shimmery shades. It's a light, the shade is 00 Light Cool. So it has a bit of the pink in it because it's the cool shade. And it just gives you that perfectly nice glow. So I'm gonna come with a big loose brush. So I'm swirling in all the shade, and the perfume is, it's more, there's a proper smell in this product. And I'm gonna use it as a bronzer all over the forehead to bring some summer and spring vibes in this very gray day. And so it's not super dark, so it's not going to give you that very dark patchy look, but it just gives you that healthy natural glow. Come down nicely just on the side of the cheeks, just to give a little bit more definition. Same under here. And you see I always go in upward motion because I like that lifted look that it gives to the face. It's kind of having a mini facelift. I really like the Guerlain product because they're so pleasant to work with. They are really light. They don't feel heavy on the skin at all. And it's kind of a second skin look without being too much. They're really, really nice product. So for the blush, I have from the new collection Terracotta Light Blush, light nude. So I'm going to use light nude and deep nude mixed together. So obviously I'm going to apply the light nude in the center of the face and the deeper shade more outwards. So I'm going to go with this kind of brush, an angle brush, to use my light nude shade. And I like them because they're fully matte. They're matte but luminous. So this one just add a little bit of a flush of color. I'm gonna say though, however, if you have a skin that is darker than mine, it's not gonna show on you. So you're really gonna have to use the deep nude shade. So I like to use this one in the center of the face because it really brings brightness. It just gives you a healthy look. And I placed it quite high under my eye because the shade is so light, it's not going to give you a look of squishy or big cheeks. And with the same brush, this is the deep nude that I will be placing just on the top outwards. Obviously this shade has much more pigment in it, so a little goes a long way. And I'm gonna come and really stretch it out super high to have that really lifted look. They really blend so nicely. It's not patchy at all. It's So you still see the concealer under where it's lighter, and then you have your lighter shade here. And as I move upwards, it's darker, and then you have your bronzer out. So now that our base is done, we have complexion finished. It's still looking very healthy. It's still looking very glowy, or luminous, I should say, without being dewy. There's no line, there's no patchiness. It is really just looking, it's all coming together, which is really pleasant. I don't have any new eyeshadow from Guerlain because I am waiting for the new Meteorite collection, and there will be a new eyeshadow quad. So I will wait for that. In the meantime, I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario palette. This is the Ethereal. I want to stay in that kind of nude, warm theme. And I don't want to take away, you know, sometimes it's a matter of balancing your makeup as well. So I think now we're having such a nice complexion. If you're coming with super heavy eyes, it has to balance. So we're gonna keep it very minimal on the eyes today. I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush and use this shade here to come all over on the mobile eyelid because it's very close to my skin color. And just unifies the tint. And you'll see I always take my brush and bring the eyeshadow out so it kind of blends in with the bronzer, the blush. There's not, obviously if you do a very drastic eye look, eye makeup where you have darker shade with some black, obviously you won't be spreading it out the same way. But because this is a very light shade, you just want to blend all the colors together so that way the transition is much more natural. For the crease, I'll be using this shade. It's a warm brown with a crease brush that is quite loose and fluffy. Not too much. I come right here in the crease and just start blending. We're gonna keep it quite natural. Come here just lower on the side to add some depth, and we're defining the crease. Do the same thing on the other side. And whenever you apply your eyeshadow powder, try and not pull on your skin or having your eyebrows raised super high, because the placement won't be where it should be once your face is relaxed. You'll end up having your crease way too low for where it should be. Same thing goes for your blush. If you apply your blush and you're smiling, the apple of your cheek is here, but once you relax, it's gone there. So the placement will be completely off. Now with a much smaller brush, I'll take that same brown shade here and just come underneath my eye and add the same color. Here we just add some definition. So it's very natural, well, it's very neutral shade, not natural, because obviously we don't look like that naturally. I'm just gonna add a little pop of brightness, and I will be using this shade here. Actually, no, the lightest one. This one, because it's kind of a champagne shade. I'll use it with my finger and place it just on the mobile lid. So you see it's a nice shimmery tone, just like so, just to adds luminosity, it adds a pop of shine, and that's it. I don't want to go anywhere else with the shade, just really on the center of the mobile lid. The Makeup by Mario palette is such a good palette. If you haven't played with it yet, if you haven't tried it, Sephora usually sell this palette. I highly recommend that you go in store and just have a play with it. This is perfect for any skin tone, any skin shade. You've got your neutrals, warm, cool, and you can create so many looks. The texture is really pleasant. It's not too dry, it's not gonna crease. It's really long lasting. This is worth, honestly, I think it's $50 if I'm not mistaken. It's really worth the $50, and I have been playing with it quite a bit. It is a very good purchase. Sorry, we have a visitor who wants to get his makeup done as well. Thank you, Derek. So I've applied my mascara, my eyeliner. I kept it quite soft, so just a brown eyeliner. This is from L'Oréal Paris Infallible brown, and literally just a small line, no big wings, anything crazy. And my mascara is from Lancôme. This is Monsieur Big, and obviously I'm using my primer Volume and Care from Chanel. That's also, we're keeping it quite soft, so it just blends nicely with the rest of the makeup. So I am almost done. Two things that I want to add. So I have from, again, the Terracotta collection, the Luminizer. Look how gorgeous this is. This on the body, oh my god, you just glisten and shine, and it's just that beautiful shimmer that really, you know, you wear a strapless dress for summer is just absolutely stunning. So I'm going to use this as a highlighter for today. I have a small fan brush. This is from Real Techniques, and this is shade 01 Warm Gold. They come in different shades. So there's one that's gold, and there's one that is a bit more cool. So because it's really finely milled, it's not going to give you that weird, just like a stripe of glow. It's just going to give you a very soft glow when you turn your head. For the body, you can buy the bigger brush, that's the body brush, and it just really goes on really, really nicely. So I'm gonna just add some here. So whenever I turn my head, it catches the light and just gives you that really nice reflection. Like so. Just a little bit on the bridge of the nose. And I like to add some just here in the middle. Here, and then just on the bone here that you have that is sticking out a little, just before your temple. Like so. Because this is where the light will catch. I'm just gonna give a nice reflection. So for the lips to finish, I'm gonna keep it quite simple. I'm gonna use my pencil from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Collection, and this is shade Anywhere Cafeine. So I'm just gonna overline my lips. And it's it's more of a rosy shade than a brown shade. This is a really flattering shade, I think, for a lot of people, unless your lips are really dark. I feel like this is really nice on most of us. Little trick, if you want your liner to stay in place, take your powder puff and just come with the excess of powder on top of it. That way, it's not going to move. To finish, I'm going to use a gloss from Chanel. This is Rouge Coco Gloss and shade 119. I believe this is Bourgeoise. It's really nice. It's got little shimmers in it. It's not too dark. And it's just going to blend really nicely with all the neutral shade that we have today. I really like the Chanel Coco, the Rouge Coco Gloss, all of them. If I could have every single shade, I think I would. They're giving you that fuller look. They're hydrating, they're not dry. The shades are gorgeous. They are not sticky. They feel more watery than sticky. And it's just such a classic item to have in your makeup bag. I have a few shades and every time I wear them, I'm like, oh, why am I not wearing them every day? Yeah, it really sits nicely on the lips. It doesn't go into the fine line and accentuate any fine lines, but just makes it more even. This is the final look for today. I didn't add anything else other than what I've shown you in the video. I did have her contour my nose, just a little bit. It just feel like it had something a bit nicer onto the face. I'm really happy with how the complexion turned out. It's really soft. It's very luminous. If I come closer, you still see skin under the foundation, but it is just unifying the skin tone. It's looking very healthy, very summery. This is a really, really good makeup. Guerlain has a really good collection going on right now with Terracotta. If I have to choose, obviously these two working together, the foundation and the concealer together, are a really, really good match. If you are in the market for a new foundation, I really highly recommend that you try this one. I believe it is available at Sephora. So go in store, try it. So I will always recommend that you actually go in store and try it on your skin first, because we all have different skin types. It really works well for me. I have more of a dry skin, and it's not drying my skin. So this is really good. And I think if you have any other skin concerns, or if you have more of a greasy or oily skin, this would be fantastic as well. Same with the concealer. It's more on the dry side a little bit. So if you have very, very dry skin, add just a little bit of oil before you apply it and you're in for business. This, I am extremely surprised. I thought it was just going to be another primer, but it is really nice on the skin. There's nothing sticky. And I really feel like it's going to stay in place. So all in all, very happy with today's look. So let me know what you think in the comments. If any questions on the products I've used today. I'm wearing a Zara top, so nothing crazy here. If you're not a subscriber yet, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time a new video is being posted. You can also follow me on Instagram. I post daily. And thank you for watching.